Oh god, I don't even know if this is going to be helpful for anyone. Maybe it is. I don't know. I think it probably is for someone, but here I am doing this anyway. What? Oh, okay. Apologies if there's like mad light changes or anything. No, I think it's alright. We'll find out. We'll find out. Oh. So last week I talked about how everything was changing and I had to free up my schedule a bit by taking a little bit off my plate, which was came in the form of not doing the guitar videos as much anymore, because I'll do little jam videos and stuff because it was taking up loads of time and loads of producing to do. I'm lucky though, Andrew from Bear Guitars has left me with this one to play with until mine is finished, because that's in the works and that's a beauty. I did that and I cleared out the time, and now so I'm left at God, come on. Right, guess that'll be. So here I've got at the moment I have I'm working on primarily 5 things. Audiobook, collab with Ramada, and then 3 EPs. I've talked about them, I've vaguely pointed to any of them, but there's no point saying exactly who they're with or anything yet. But I've got, each of them, I think I'm doing 2 that are 4 tracks long and 1 that's 7 tracks long. And this is the first time I've ever had a list of songs to make that was longer than I knew how long it was. You know what I mean? I've always had a song to work on or 3 songs to work on or something, and it's the first time it's a sort of bottomless pit of it. I guess it's going to be like this from here on out. But I've started to find my own method with it. Kind of realised how to make it so that my creativity doesn't run dry and I don't kind of repeat ideas too much or anything. So, for instance, I've currently been working on the next single with Sydney DeJure. I'm sorry, I think I said that right. I always am confident when I say it to other people and when I'm on camera. I'm Sydney DeJure. There we go. I'm working on the next one for that. And so generally the best way I work, and it seems to work, is when an artist writes something over the top of a type beat and then sends it to me, and then I take out the type beat and then put in my thing underneath, which I definitely feel works best for me. But I think the first, so that happens quite a lot with beat making, is you make the beat and it's 4 bars long or whatever, and then you just kind of copy and paste it and then take out parts, and it's actually quite different from making a song per se. And if you really like a beat that you've made, it's quite hard to then think of another part that needs to go with it, because you can't really think outside the box necessarily. Oh, wow. So I've got a great beat I love going on. It's great, it's nice, I like it, going on with this next song. And then after I'd made this beat and I kind of spread it through and did little variations and whatnot, I was like, I know I needed more. I know I needed an extra part or extra section to make it sound interesting. And it was, I've obviously run into this before, and I hadn't really consciously thought out how I deal with it. And I've kind of managed to pinpoint a way that I hope is relatable to other people if anyone's in a song block or whatever. And that is is like holding, I call it, I guess it's like a form of holding it in your mind. So when I'm working on something, it'll get to the point where like I go off feeling with songs. If I'm trying to work it out from here, it doesn't go right. It just turns into a horrible mess. So it goes feeling. So when I'm recording something, if I don't have that like energy buzz that anyone that creates things will know, where you're just like gushing with it, you're just constant, then I know something's wrong. So I love what I'm working on, but yesterday, for instance, I was trying to, work out what I wanted to add extra. And I wasn't having that flow feeling. Now there has been times when I haven't had that feeling and I've just kept going for a bit and then I found it. I'm not saying give up at that point. I'm just saying, I stuck with the feeling long enough to be like, no, okay, something's not quite sitting right here. I closed it all up and I held it in my head. And then I go off, I fuck off, and I go in, listen to a load of stuff that's like it. I've got a beat inspiration playlist on Spotify, as anyone else does that does this stuff. And I kind of listen with an open mind. And then once again, I go off gut feeling. So I'll listen to something and then a track I've heard 100 times or a part of it that I know off by heart will suddenly spark something, that domino effect, into making me go, oh, maybe I should try this. It might not work, but it kind of creates more and more ideas. I find it easier to work on one song in one go instead of maybe having 3 going at once. I don't really know if that's like a normal thing. I imagine there's probably some people out there that can do that. Like I've got 3 projects going right now, but I only direct my focus on one until it's done. Otherwise, one of 3 half finished songs, which is the curse of any creative in a project. But yeah, so I hold it in mind, and then kind of try and relate, and I kind of focus on it. It's quite it's actually a technique I sort of learn in Zen practice stuff, is the whole doing, not doing thing, where I don't bully myself if I can't think of the next part of the song. I don't get angry at myself if I haven't thought of what the next chord needs to be. I wait for it to kind of reveal itself to me. And it always does. Like I've done this long enough now, not professionally of course, but made music long enough now to know that any good song comes to you and you've just got to write it down or get it out there as quickly as you can before it goes away. And I find that doing this, holding the song in your head and listening to other songs, is a good way to sort of coax it in, because it gives you the extra ideas and the extra spark and whatnot. As I said at the beginning, I don't know if this is helpful to anyone. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe this is just a filler episode. Who knows? Not me. But I hope it kind of helps someone. I imagine an obscure way down the line it might. I think it's about keeping fresh with it. And the second you start judging yourself, the second you start like getting annoyed or frustrated that you can't move a song on, is when you start doing stuff wrong or overproducing things and making them sound like a big old shitbag. I don't know, I panicked. So yeah, maybe helpful to someone. Who knows? Maybe it's a filler episode. Who knows? Maybe it's the fly episode in Breaking Bad.